Yo everybody, how you doing? So I wanted to jump on live real quick to talk about Allen Barbre. It turns out, as we thought before, that Allen Barbre was cut by the Eagles today. Turns out that's not the case. Turns out Allen Barbre was actually traded to Denver for a conditional pick. Now, I think this is, of course, a better move to get a conditional pick, which is a conditional pick in 2019. So the Eagles get a 2019 conditional pick for Allen Barbre. Turns out they didn't cut him. And this is a fantastic thing for me. I love it. And hey, you can't complain with that. Philly boy from Texas, love it, good move. I agree, totally agree. How can you complain when you get a pick? You're going to cut him anyways, apparently. Yashir, yo, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Joseph, I like the move. What's up, buddy? What's up, Mike? That could really help us out. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what the conditions of the pick is in 2019, but to get a 2019 pick for a 30-something-year-old guy, I'm good. What's up, Quentin? How you doing, buddy? Brett, yo, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Brett? So, the Eagles made a couple moves today, cutting a couple guys. Now, I can't help but the conspiracy theory guy in me thinks maybe, just maybe, we got another move coming down the road. Yes, Marcus Smith is finally gone. I don't know what they waited so long for. I would have cut him as soon as he wasn't happy months ago when he didn't show up to OTAs. I would have cut him. Why keep him? What's up, Big Philly Eagle? How you doing? You know, I don't understand why they even wanted to keep him. It all worked out perfectly. Time for you guard to take over. Getting the pick was right move. Yeah, look, I was not a big Allen Barbre fan. I thought, like, in terms of a starter, I didn't really like him. But I liked him as a depth guy, a guy on the roster, because he could play tackle, he could play guard. So, you know, I was glad about that, you know. I like Barbre as a backup, but not as a starter. And I've said this in some of my videos that you guys have seen. Kelsey and Barbre, to me, were the weakest links of that offensive line. Now you're going to put Sayamalu in. Which another thing I don't understand is, why do you announce that he's now your starter? Why would you do that? I mean, you know, you may know that he's going to be your starter, but tell the other guys, tell Warmack, tell the other guys, look, you got a chance to battle for the starting job. You got a chance to get the starting job. And let everybody go in and go full at it. Don't just hand things to people. Let them earn it. Let's take some questions. I think getting Fuller would be a good move. You know, initially, yesterday I thought so too, and I was thinking, if you give up one of those 4th round picks, okay, maybe that'll be okay. But I gotta tell you, some people are swaying me the other way, that maybe he ain't even worth it for that. You know what I mean? We do band-aid the cornerback situation a lot, so I'm back and forth with the Kyle Fuller thing. I think probably if I can get him cheap, I would. But the people that are saying, like, trade Jordan Matthews for Kyle Fuller, forget that. No way in hell would I trade Jordan Matthews for Kyle Fuller. I wouldn't even trade him for his left hand or left shoe. Jason Kelce needs to go. I think Kelce, I think you need a bigger center. You Eagles fans can have Eli Apple for Wentz. What? Those are some weird trades. Wentz, Eli Apple. How about Eli Orange? Maybe Eli Orange. But, you know, Carson Wentz, Jordan Hicks, and 1st round for Kyle Fuller. I don't... Look, Kyle Fuller is going to get cut anyways, it sounds like. Why? I wouldn't even give up... I mean, even a 4th round pick, to me, I figured, hey, you have 3 4th round picks. That gets it done for sure. You don't have to worry about anything else after that. That was my thinking, but, you know, you may be able to get him for less than that. So I'm not going to go and give the house for Kyle Fuller. I think that others who have done videos on it have kind of swayed me the other way. Maybe they knocked the sense back into me. Bam! You know what I'm saying? We're going to take a bite out of Eli Apple. Damn right. We're going to make some apple pie. The Giants, Philly boy from Texas, I can promise you this. I've guaranteed this. The Eagles will sweep the Giants this year. It's going to happen. And Philly boy from Texas has throwback hats. I love throwback stuff. I'm a Kelly Green kind of guy. Fuller is flawed, not the answer. Cheap. cheap, if I can get him cheap, I'm not going to say, look, if they said you can get Kyle Fuller for a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, sure. But I'm not gonna Giants gonna smack the shit out of the Birds this year. Psst. You're gonna get swept. You're gonna get swept. Most Giant fans say, oh my gosh, we'll split with the Eagles. When you hear Giant fans talk about splitting, that's the first Giant fan I heard that said they'll sweep us. Most of them are happy just to split, which means that they're scared of us. 2019 conditional 7th for Barbre. Hey, John, you know, it's better than nothing because really, I mean, what did you have before that? You're going to cut him for nothing. Now you got 2.1 million, what, saved? You know what I mean? Kopizzle's the man. Yeah, he is. But they ain't sweeping us. I'm going to laugh when Manning throws 30 picks. 30 picks? Woo! Giants will rest their nuts on the... We'll see. Hey, you know where to find me. I'm not hard to find. If I'm wrong, I'll man up. I'll put a tie on. I'll come in and I'll tell you how wrong I was. But I think the Eagles sweep the Giants. And I think the Giants sweep the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be the footstool of the NFC East. They're already in chaos. I mean, the Redskins are pretty bad too, though. Do you think we will trade Jordan Matthews? I'm assuming. I don't think we're going to trade Matthews. I think the Eagles are setting it up, though, that I don't think they think they're going to re-sign him. I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't want to trade Matthews for nothing. I mean, if you're going to trade him, you gotta give me something like really, really, really good. Do I think that they trade him? Probably not, but I don't think he comes back after this year. I think he's in the final year of his contract. That's just, you know, my opinion. Guys, the questions come back so quick, I can't keep up. So just keep sending them. I'll keep trying to answer. I saw a thing on Instagram saying Cowboys will go 11-5. What do you think about that, Thomas? I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to go 7-9. My NFC East prediction, preseason prediction, is 7-9 for the Giants. I mean, for the Cowboys. I'm sorry. I think the Giants go 11-5 and win the division, and the Eagles are 9-7 with a chance at 10-6. So you jumped the gun, say he was cut for no reason. How about apologizing and just glossing it over and moving on? Sure, I'll apologize. Sorry. But that's what the report said. That's what the news said. That's what they said. But if you like, sorry. Does that make you feel better? You feel good now? You good? You happy? Do you feel good about yourself? Jordan Matthews won't be traded. I don't think so. Aguilar, drop and drop. Look, Aguilar's got talent. But when he drops one ball, what will he do? Giants are not winning no division. Well, who do you think is? I don't even think the Cowboys are going to go 500. Do you think Sidney Jones will start sometime this season, or will he be benched? I don't look at it as benched. I look at it as taking care of your investment. I do think they want to play him. I think there's a chance he's going to play this year. It sounds like with him on the active roster or whatever, they're going to put him. I don't know what their plan is, but I have a feeling that they're going to throw him out there early. And he's going to play this year, and I'm totally against it. Totally against it. You know, I'm totally against having him. You know, I don't know. I don't want him to play with it coming off an Achilles. Let him rest. Does Gibson get beat up by Marcus Johnson or Greg Ward? He may. A lot of people were not happy with the way Gibson looked in OTAs, and that's disappointing to me, kind of, because the reality is I liked him for his speed. I wanted somebody that could stretch the field the way Gibson can. So I'm hoping that Gibson will turn it up in preseason. I mean, they got to play some preseason games before I can say, oh, this guy's done deal. What did the Eagles get for Barbre, Gregory? They got a conditional 2019, I believe, a 2019 7th round pick. So they got something little, but it's better than nothing. You had nothing before. Our update: Marcus Smith trade for Tom Brady. Yeah. Lucky Dingbat is on the Jets now. He ain't a dingbat. It turns out he ain't a dingbat. Lucky Whitehead is not a dingbat. The Cowboys front office are dingbats. You know? He's on the Jets. I think it would have been funny if he went to the Eagles or went to an NFC East team and then got to play Dallas twice. But he didn't have some nice things today to say to Dallas Cowboys owner, did he? Jones is going to play this season. I get that feeling too, John. I get that feeling that they're going to push him out there too soon. I can't understand why do people want him out there so quick? Wouldn't you rather have a 10-year of a Pro Bowl corner than a corner who re-hurts himself because he's not ready to be back? He could probably start in New York. Lucky, not so lucky, ending up with the Jets. Hey, I'll play for any team anywhere. I wouldn't care. I mean, the fact is that this was a guy that was wrongly accused of crime, and then the team cut him based on it. And I believe, if you've seen my conspiracy theory about it, I believe they knew he was innocent, but they didn't think it would come out so quick. That way they can make an example of him. I just got here. Who did they trade for? They traded Allen Barbre to Denver for a 2019 conditional pick. How do you feel about EDP getting kicked off of YouTube? I don't think anybody should get kicked off for speaking their mind or saying what they feel. That's just my personal opinion. It is me, or do the Eagles pay too much attention to the D-line? I don't think they pay too much attention. I mean, especially when you have not the greatest corners. The one way to counter that is to have, a great pass rush. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know. But you want to have a good pass rush. That will help your corner. It all works together, right? The pass rush gets the quarterback, helps the corners. The corners can hold the receivers and cover them early. The defensive line has the time to get to the quarterback. I'm being sarcastic. I missed what you said originally. Let's see if he unblocked me. You never were blocked. Giants report for camp tomorrow. I can't wait. Do you think Janoris Jenkins is better than Josh Norman? Do I think Janoris Jenkins is better than... That's an interesting question. Yeah, I do. I'm not a big Josh Norman fan, to be honest with you. Who do you think Revis will sign with? Who do I think Revis will sign with? I don't know. He'll sign with somebody who has some cornerback go down or something like that. I think will happen. Which corner would you like? Which corner would you like to get that's available? That's available? I would say there's two guys that come to mind for me. I don't know that they're available, but if I have to go out and get a corner, I would say Fuller if he's cheap, but he's got to be cheap. Or maybe if somehow you can get Joe Hayden. But that would be it. I mean, we're at a point now where we're so late in the season. I don't know that going out and getting a bunch of guys is the right thing. I'm not a big Revis guy right now. Revis he looked like crap last year. You want him to come in and be a mentor or coach, then that's one thing, but I'm just not a big on him. Do you still think they're going to? I don't think they're going to sign Revis. No, but I do think that with the moves today, I do think that something is up. I definitely do. Well, we gave franchise running back next draft again. Greece from Germany. Germany, wow, how you doing, Germany? Yeah, I think that they will get running back next year in the draft. Do you think the Giants are going to smack you all year? Because I do. No, I think the Giants are going to take a beating. I got a nice blue broom downstairs to bring in to show you when we sweep. The Giants are going to take a beating from the Eagles. It's going to happen. You know it. I know it. The whole world knows it. Which NFC East team has the best chance of sweeping the Redskins? Dallas, maybe. He won't be trading to get a running back there. Plenty of good running backs this year. No, I don't think they're gonna go get a running back and trade a running back. I do think they'll draft one. But I'll tell you what, if somehow Carlos Hyde became cut, I would sign him for a year to take some carries off of Blunt, who had over 300 carries, I believe, last year. So I'm a Giants fan. It's all good, buddy. It's all cool. What would you say if the Eagles got Richard Sherman? Well, if they got Richard Sherman, then you're talking that they probably had to give a first or second round pickup. I don't want it. I don't want older guys. There's two things that I view this. I say I didn't like the way the Eagles handled free agency. I wouldn't have done all the one-year deals. And part of me now looks at it and goes, well, the Eagles had all these one-year deals. What's the difference with doing it now? Why stop now? You might as well go all out. But at the same time, we got to let the young guys play. Let's see what they can do. I wouldn't trade for Richard Sherman. I'm a Broncos fan. Do you think Barbre can upgrade this O-line? Answer my question, please. Yeah, I think he can definitely help you. I don't think Barbre's the best starting guard. But what Barbre can give you is if you need somebody to play tackle, if you need somebody to play guard, he's very interchangeable. So I think he's definitely going to help you. For the price that Denver paid, it was a great pick. If I was Denver, I would be happy with that move. More rushing touchdowns, Zeke or Blunt? Man, I think Dallas is going to struggle this year. I think Dallas is going to struggle, but I'm still going to say Zeke anyways, because Zeke is a beast. Get Barkley from Penn State University. I would love that. Green Forest, you made it. You're finally live. How you doing, buddy? Dwayne Evans and McGloin for Eagles quarterback 3. McGloin, I think, will make the third string quarterback because he's had some experience. And when you have a young quarterback like Wentz, I think to have 2 veteran guys in it like that, I think is very good. You know, I definitely would say that he'll be the third quarterback. I think I'm playing for USC. Dude, I'm playing for USC Carolina. That's awesome, man. You know, I'll be watching. I'll definitely be watching all year. How do you feel about Darius Gucci? I like him, but I have to see more of him. I haven't seen enough of him. I saw a lot of Barkley though, so I'm fixated on Barkley. I need to see more. Kyle Fuller for a 4th rounder and Kendricks. That's too much. Why would you? That's too much. You can get Kendricks and Kyle Fuller. That I might do. I may consider at my peak, a 4th rounder, but that's it. I'm not going to go anything more than a 4th rounder for him. So I'm not going 4th rounder Kendricks, 4th rounder and the tight end. You know, they wanted talking about Trey Burton. I like Trey Burton. Give the Giants Kendricks. You can have Kendricks stinks. Kendricks needs a new hamstring. If the Giants have a new hamstring, boom. Howie Roseman, the dingbat. I totally agree. Dingbat. Production for Alshon this year. I have Alshon with 1,400 yards, about 85 catches, and 10 touchdowns. I think he's going to stay healthy because he hasn't been healthy in a while. What about Joe Douglas? I'm not. The verdict is still out on Joe Douglas. I want to see if Joe Douglas is the guy controlling things or is he the puppet master for Howie Roseman. If he's the puppet master, I got a problem. But if he isn't, I like the way Baltimore runs their show. So I'm hopeful that Joe Douglas is the guy. If he has real say and he can bring over some of the stuff that they did in Baltimore, I'm all for it. You know? I'm predicting the Eagles go 8-8, and for Peterson to get fired, and for the favorite Howie Roseman continued GM. I think if they go 8-8, then they should get. I think Peterson should get fired at 8-8, and I think Howie Roseman should too. To me, the question with the Eagles is, what is the Eagles going to do from year 2 to 3 with all... They have like 19 free agent guys. They have like 19 free agents. You know? That's a lot of free agents to try to sign. Pistol at 49 watching. Yeah, that's crazy. Holy crap. Where do I see that? Oh. Have you heard Greg Ward Jr.? How good he's... I heard great things about him. Yeah, I did. I'm excited to see Greg Ward in preseason. I can't wait. How do you feel about our first rounder Barnett at this point? I've heard good things about him. I've heard great things about him. But, you know, I was very skeptical when he was picked. I'm still a little skeptical, but I'm very hopeful, and I have a clear conscience and open eyes, and he can make his mark on me by just going out and playing good. But from what I've heard, hey, he sounds good. Sean Fitzpatrick. Barbre dealt. Yeah, he was dealt and not cut for a conditional 2019 pick, which is fabulous. That's wonderful. I mean, how can you not like that? I love Burnett. I think he's going to be a beast. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Now, some of my concerns were there was a scout, and I can't remember what his name was, but he was saying that the SEC tackles are weak, and that he wanted to see Barnett against more athletic tackles. He think he would struggle. And that really bothered me going up into the draft. And of course there was guys like Malik Hooker, O.J. Howard on the board that I wanted over him. But I mean, look, I hope he is great. I think he will be a linebacker. Sorry, that question just went. These are coming it comes so quick, man. I don't know how to slow it up. It's like 4 or 5 at a time. Like, what the hell's going on? Barbre traded. Yeah, Barbre traded. Now we got to get Kelsey out of there. If we get Kelsey out of there, I'm in. I'm in like Flynn, because I'm not a fan of Kelsey. I think he's too small. I think that beefing up that center and that guard spot can totally change this offensive line. Wentz led the league in fumbles. Cruising, that's good. The Eagles are going to lead the league in wins against the Giants, though. Kelsey would be gone next offseason. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Pistol Whipping. I think you're probably right. We traded him for a cheesesteak. Yeah, but look, you were going to give him away for nothing. I mean, an hour ago, we thought we just cut him and he went his own way. That's what they reported. Kelsey might leave in free agency. I think Kelsey's, there's a chance that they trade Kelsey this preseason. I'm telling you right now, I don't think the Eagles are going to go through this whole preseason without making a couple trades. One of them being significant. Just like last year, you know? Feed Kelsey double cheeseburgers. Yeah, he's very small. I mean, they list him at 295, but there's no way. There's no way he's that big, you know? It seems that the Broncos and the Eagles are good trading buddies. First it was Mark Sanchez, now Barbre. Yeah, well, hey, I guess they have a good working relationship. It works out. Depends how Orlovsky looks in preseason. Is he healthy? What's the deal with him? Because I know he was hurt. I really am high on him, and I really think he could beat out Kelsey. Wentz had 14 interceptions and 14 fumbles. Yeah, that's a rookie. I mean, you got to give him a break. You know what I mean? You got to give a rookie quarterback a break. If he had 14 fumbles, that means if he has 8 fumbles this year, he's improved by 6 fumbles. That's an improvement. Why do the NFC East teams get so many primetime games? Because there's nothing like the NFC East. The NFC East is the greatest division. The NFC East has the biggest cities, right? I mean, you have big city markets. You have New York, you have Philly, you have Washington, you have Dallas. It's the best division to watch. It's just my opinion. It's not always the toughest division, but hey, it's big. You guys are pretty set with Wentz. Could have been stuck with a 4th-round quality backup, overrated trash like Dak Prescott. Yeah, Dak Prescott won't sign autographs for fans. He won't sign autographs. He's got a machine. He's predicting the NFC East. You got whatever's going on with Zeke Elliott, they're covering it up. They're cutting Whitehead. The Dallas Cowboys are a mess already. Preseason hasn't even started, and they're a mess. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. Dallas is going to be a disaster this year. Is Jordan Matthews next to be traded? Will Nelson take it? A lot of you guys really think that Jordan Matthews is getting traded. I don't think Jordan Matthews is getting traded. But I do think that they're preparing us to have Jordan Matthews leave when the season's over. I don't think that they're going to re-sign him. I definitely don't. What do we trade Barbre for? A 2019 conditional pick. I think it may be a 2019 7th-round conditional pick. Dak is overrated. Yeah, well, here's my thing. I think it's hard to tell because he had one of those seasons where he didn't make many mistakes. He hasn't had to, he hasn't had to go through certain things that, are tough, that really show the character. Now, in the Green Bay game, he goes down in the playoffs. They go back down early. He comes back and makes a game of it. I give him a lot of respect there. But I think that this is going to be one of those years for Dak Prescott to take a step back. I think the whole Cowboys will. I'm not saying that he won't be good in the future, but I definitely think he's going to struggle this year. He's going to go through growing pains that Wentz went through last year. That's what I think. Jordan Matthews still ain't healthy, though. Yeah, I don't know what to make with Jordan Matthews. He's banged up. I like Jordan Matthews in the slot. I don't think they're going to sign Alshon and Jordan Matthews. I don't. Not both of them. Eli Manning needs to retire this year. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Tendinitis in the knee. Yeah, tendinitis in the knee And that stuff can linger on. That could be a problem. But I mean, you guys really think they're going to trade Matthews this preseason? You know what I mean? Pistol with it. That's funny. Eli isn't retired for at least 2 years. No, he ain't. Look, I think that Giants are probably, they deserve to be the favorites in the division because they beat Dallas twice last year. I think they got the best defense, and I think that that's fair. That doesn't mean they're going to win the division, and they certainly can't have a problem with the Eagles. But we'll see. No keeping Matthews. What do you guys want to trade Matthews for? What would you trade Jordan Matthews for? I wouldn't trade him for a third-round pick right now or a fourth-round pick right now. I don't think anybody's going to give you a second-round pick, and I'm definitely nobody's going to give you a first-round pick. You'd rather have Jeffrey than Matthews. Yeah, well, yeah, but this year you get them both. You know, Philly Fighters, Big Blues winning division. I think that they're the favorites. They have to be the favorites. I mean, I think that it's fair if we're being logical. But that don't mean that it's going to happen. That don't mean the Eagles can't kick their butt. You know what I mean? Matthews is a free agent. He's not going to be traded. He's not. I mean, a lot of people think he's going to get traded this preseason because he's in the last year of his contract. I don't believe that. I think he's going to play out his contract and then probably not resign. You know, I love Barnett because he's a Tennessee native, but would have loved Corey Davis. Man, that was my guy. I wanted Corey Davis bad. I wanted Corey Davis. If I couldn't have Leonard Fournette, I wanted Davis. But he went early. And then Mike Williams went early. So the receivers really were off the board. That's why Malik Hooker and O.J. Howard kind of fell. And I thought that they were sitting pretty. Now, Hooker has a hamstring problem, but I think he'll be a good player. I loved Corey Davis. Corey Davis reminds me of Terrell Owens. NFC East equals Glam Division, most exciting American division. It has everything. I mean, back in the day, when I was growing up, the NFC East had the Redskins, the Giants, the Eagles, and Dallas. And look, those were bang-up divisions. They beat the crap out of each other. Like, whoever got through to the playoffs a lot of times were so banged up that they couldn't go far. But they won a lot of Super Bowls with a lot of those teams, unfortunately not us. I wanted them to trade down to get Kevin King. Yeah, a lot of people like Kevin King. I like him too. Dennis Kelly got extended by the Titans. We got fleeced. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know what's his face. I mean, DGB he must have really got on a lot of nerves because he didn't even get to have one full off season and then come back and see what he got. He must have really, really, really pissed them off. And I'm going to tell you something else. We would have cut Dennis Kelly anyways. Yeah, we would have. I'll tell you something else, though. I don't like today them coming out and saying Seumalo is the starter. I think that there's no reason to do it. Even if they think he should be, why would you say that to the other guys behind him? Don't you want to get the best out of all of them? Don't you want them to fight and compete and try to win the job? Why would you tell them instantly you don't have a chance, he's a starter, before they've played one down in preseason? I think that's stupid. That's the kind of stuff that I think Doug Peterson does that annoys the crap out of me. You know what I mean? When it's good footage throwing interceptions in camp. Yeah, but if he doesn't throw interceptions in the game, who cares? Right? He can throw all the interceptions he wants. It can't. I love that we're going to younger O-line. Yeah, I do too. Look, you've seen my videos on the Eagles' offensive line. I love the tackles. I love Brooks at guard. I don't like the center, and I didn't like Barbre. So to upgrade that position, to me, with Barbre is a big thing. And I think if they could upgrade that center position, I think you have a top 3 offensive line in football. I think you're going to see a lot of Mac Hollins. I think Mac Hollins is going to be a stud. Will you give Wentz a pass this year if he has the same stats as in 2016? Totally depends. We have to see what it is. I mean, I would probably be upset about it. But I would say, yeah, I'd probably be upset. But if everybody was hurt, everybody went down, and he was just trying to survive, it may be different. It just depends on the situation. But that wouldn't be good. Yeah, I love Mac Hollins too. I mean, I didn't know too much about Mac Hollins coming out. I'm not going to lie. But I liked, what I heard of him, and then everything I've heard since, I'm really excited to see him on the field. What division is the best in the AFC West or NFC East? Like, what do you mean? Like, toughest division? The toughest division may be the NFC South, to be honest with you. But I definitely think I would say the NFC East over. I don't know about Denver's. I'd say NFC South is the toughest. I don't know about the Denver's division. I mean, I don't know what you're going to get out of the Chargers. I don't know about Denver's quarterback. You know what I mean? I definitely think Oakland's tough. You know what I mean? There are a lot of good pass rushers on our schedule. Flowers is going to have to block Von Miller if he doesn't improve recipe. Yeah, well, that's the thing with the Giants is going to be their offensive line. Can they protect Eli Manning, or is he going to look like this? And you know who looks like that too? You know who reminds me of Eli? Jared Goff. But Jared Goff stinks, and Eli's won a couple Super Bowls. So it's pretty crazy, right? Warmack is a great backup behind Seumalo. I want Warmack to compete for the starting spot. He was a monster coming out of college. He's with his old offensive coach. Let him compete. What do you lose letting them compete and earn it? What do you lose if you say, Seumalo, go beat him out? If he can't beat him out, then he shouldn't start. What's up, Spunky? I hope Donnell Pumphrey is Darren Sproles 2.0. If everything I hear of Humphrey, he sounds great. Pumphrey sounds great. I don't think he's as thick and as strong as as Darren Sproles. I don't think he's Darren Sproles. I think he's his own thing. But he ain't. I don't think he's Sproles. Pistol Whippet. Warmack is honestly overrated. He was only good because he was surrounded by NFL talent. Yeah, you may be right. Look, you may be right about that. But the thing is all I'm saying is give him a chance. Don't just hand guys position and starting spots. Never just hand it to him. Let him earn it. I mean, why are we telling somebody, hey, you're the starter, but you haven't done anything yet to earn it except for what we saw in OTAs? Let him earn it. And let Warmack, get a chance and go for it. Why not? Let him fight for the starting spot. You get better competition. You get better play. Love the Eagles bucket hat, man. Yeah, this is my train cap hat. I'm still waiting. I have an all green one coming. It take it forever to get here, but I can't wait. I'm ready for it. The Dallas Cowboys are going down. What do you think about Nelson Aguilar? I think Nelson Aguilar has physical ability. I think he has talent, but I think that he lets things bother him, and mentally he's been down on himself, and he can't get over when he makes a mistake. He can't let it go, and I expect that all this blow up in confidence, OTAs and stuff will be good at first, but to me, when he has a drop pass or makes a mistake, I don't expect him to be able to shake it off, because he showed he couldn't, and when he can't shake it off, boom. I think he's back to the Nelson Aguilar we know. What's up, Jag Joseph? How you doing, buddy? I like Jonas. I like Allen Barbre. I like Allen Barbre as a backup offensive lineman that can play in multiple positions. But I did not like him as a starting guard there. I did not. So I'm very happy that he's gone. A Cowboys fan told me today that they are going 19. They talk about delusional. Yeah. Most delusional fan base in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. Without question. Not even anybody close. Not anybody close. We have a delusional fan base too. The Giants really have one. I thought the Giants were somewhat normal. They're delusional. The Redskins, I don't know, they're like hiding underground for years. I feel bad for Redskin fans. When is the first preseason game again? I believe it's August 10th. I think our first preseason game is August 10th. There's a Hall of Fame game with Dallas coming up. Matt Collins is a completely different type of player than Switzer. Yeah. What about Matt Tobin? He's trash. Well, he's still on a team. I mean, he's a depth guy. I'm not a big Matt Tobin fan. You would kind of think that Allen Barbre... Well, see, the thing is, I can't say, oh, well, why did they cut Allen Barbre? Now you know they traded Allen Barbre. You traded him for something. Even though it's not much, you trade him for something. Tobin wouldn't get you anything. Look, there's $2.1 million that they saved with Barbre. I think something's up. I think something's up. I think there's another shoe to drop. I think something's up. I think another move is coming. Lucky Whitehead is a Jet now. Yeah, he's a Jet now. He's free from the satanic hold of the Dallas Cowboys and that satanic star. He doesn't have to watch them, drink the blood of babies and women and all that satanic stuff that they do down in Dallas. He's away from it. Hopefully he went to church and he's good and everything's good and he's ready to be a Jet. But he's lucky. He's away from the satanic people. They're evil. That's an evil empire. And Jerry Jones even looks like the Emperor in Star Wars with the thing on? He looks like him. Jerry Jones actually looks like him. Put that thing on Jerry Jones. He's the Emperor, whatever his name is. I forget his name. Jerry Jones is the Emperor of the evil empire. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Did you see Wentz in training camp wearing glove on his not dominant hand? I did not. I did not see the glove. I watched stuff on him today, but I didn't see anything with a glove. Zeke will not be suspended. I don't think he's going to be. I think that the first incident with the girlfriend or whatever, I don't think there's anything there. The bar fight where he broke a nose or something happened, I think something happened there. I think something happened. I think the police covered it up. The Dallas police, they covered up JFK. They'll cover up Ezekiel Elliott. Then you have, it just disappeared. The media ain't going to say nothing. And then they distract you with Lucky Whitehead, talking about Lucky Whitehead. And that's what they did. Matthews for Sammy Watkins. Yeah, I would, if he's healthy, if Sammy Watkins is healthy, shit. I'm only 12, so I can't stay up to see these Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football games. If you have boys worthless, you allow them to watch the games. My parents used to make me go to bed too. I used to have to go to bed at 9 o'clock when Monday Night Football started. And I used to hide up on the stairs looking through to watch. So I know what you're feeling. But hey, your mommy and daddy said it, you do it, you do it. You do what your parents say. You do what they say, or it's bakala bak. My dad used to say to me this, and this is, today, it's not great. But back in the day, he'd say, you have two choices, 6 months in the hospital or short death. Which one do you want? You were 12, a kid, and a quarterback, J. Brown. Yeah, being 12 was not fun when you couldn't stay up to watch it, but your parents are doing the right thing. Aaron Grimes is better than C.J. Smith. We will see. I liked Aaron Grimes last year, actually, from what I saw. So, I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see some of the guys, like Grimes. I can't wait to see Walker. I want to see, I want to see Mac Hollins. I want to see some of these guys. I want to see what they look like. Do you know the specifics on the trade of Allen Barbre? Cloud, it was a conditional 2019 pick to Denver. I believe it's a conditional 7th round pick, but I'm not sure exactly if it's a 7th or just conditional. Marcus Smith was elite. Why we just cut him? He was an elite dingbat. He stinks. I remember week 14 when Odell scored and won a game for us. I freaked out and woke up my parents. It was pretty funny. That is pretty funny. And then he hasn't won anything for you guys since. He went to Miami. He was on vacation as you guys are getting ready to start the playoffs. Giants wild for Broncos corners. Who wins? That's a good matchup. That's a good matchup. I'm gonna say the Giants win. Did you hear that the Eagles might get Revis or Fuller? I've heard a lot of that. Now yesterday I was very much in the pro get Kyle Fuller camp, but then I started hearing people talk about trading Jordan Matthews or giving up really high picks or Trey Burton. And I watched a couple guys' videos and they made me double think it. Now my feeling is I'll get Kyle Fuller, but it has to be cheap. Has to be cheap. Has to be cheap. Like maybe Michael Kendricks, something like that. It has to be cheap. I'm not giving up. I'm definitely not giving up Jordan Matthews. To me, that's totally ridiculous. How about them Cowboys? They stink. Revis was the definition of ass last year. Revis looked very old last year. Can he come back? I don't know. I mean, you're going to bring him in now. How good is he going to be for us? How much can he learn your system and learn what the defensive coach wants him to do. You know, what did we get for Allen Barbre? A conditional 2019 pick. I don't know if it was a 7th round conditional or not, but it was a conditional pick. It's better than nothing. Would you trade Jordan Hicks for Odell Beckham Jr.? No. I believe Jordan Hicks is Defensive Player of the Year type material. I am not trading that guy. I'm building my defense around him. I'm investing in him. I love Jordan Hicks. He is my 2nd favorite Eagle on this team right now. Yeah, I love Jordan Hicks, man. I think he's very underrated. I think a lot of people around the league are going to start to like him later. Jason Kelce for Patrick Peterson. Jason Kelce for a bag of donuts. How about that? I'd do that. I really would. I'm not a Kelce fan. I think Kelce fit Chip Kelly's system, but that was it. Giants wideout versus Broncos corner. Who wins? I'll say Giants wideouts because I think that I think Denver's quarterback stinks. And I think they're not going to be on the field. Defense is going to be on the field more. Giants wear them out. Jason Kelce for 2024 7th pick. Jason Kelce for a 2094 7th round pick. No, I'm just kidding. Look, he can play and he's valuable. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying Jason Kelce is trash. Don't like Jason Kelce. I'm not saying that. Jason Kelce can play in the league. He can play on some teams. But I don't think he fits the Eagles system. I think you need a bigger guy. That's all I'm saying. But if you have a guy who's going to pull and run out like you did with Chip Kelly, then he's valuable. But I don't think in this system he is. You know? Broncos cornerbacks combined with Broncos pressure against the trash line. Broncos are good. I mean, look, that's a tough question. I think that Broncos defense is good. I'm not sure about the quarterback. I mean, Bronco fans, do you think that their quarterback, do you really believe in him? Who do you think will? I don't know. I missed the first part of that. Jason Kelce is definitely the weakest link on the O-line. Yeah, I mean, just if you go back and look at tape, look how many times he's getting pushed back, right? You ever see a guy have so many bad snaps? He has a lot of bad snaps because he's always trying to get off the ball quick because he's trying to get leverage because he's so small. I just think he's not a great fit for us. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to trash him. Why won't they start Wisniewski over him? I don't know. The Eagles apparently, for any position you think would have a good challenge or should be open, they just give the starting positions away. They're not even willing to let guys fight it out. I mean, I would let guys fight it out because then they fight out and they compete and they play better. You know what I mean? You get better play overall down the road during the season. You know, is it Orlowski comes through? If he's healthy, Kelce fit Chip Kelly's offense, not Peterson. Totally agree with you. I totally agree. Von Miller or Shane Ray? Shane Ray, huh? Von Miller. I like Von Miller. What do you think of our O-line in our division? Where do you think you rank our O-line division? I would say number 2. I think you have to say Dallas is number 1. I think we're number 2. But I really like our tackles. I think our tackles are the best combination tackles in the league. I think if you can beef up that center, especially with a big bruising back like Blunt, I think number 2. But I think we can get to number 1. I think it's possible. One more big move is going to happen. I kind of get that feeling too, Tristan. I kind of think something's going to happen. Something's coming. And I think this was the first part of it today. So Eagles have a better O-line than the Redskins? Yes. Yes, and they have a quarterback that actually wants to play for them. The Redskins, they don't even want to play for the Redskins. Lane Johnson this year on fire. I love Lane Johnson. If he can stay, off the PDs or the bag of donuts or the Doritos or the chips or whatever the hell he's taking, hey, we're good. Why do you think the Redskins have the Eagles number as of late? It's just, the NFC's probably like all divisions is just like that. You play each other so many times, you know each other so well that there's just streaky. It goes streaky. Like the Eagles will beat the Giants for a while, then the Giants will beat the Eagles for a while. Giants will beat Dallas, and then Dallas. It just goes like that. But the Redskins are in our heads right now. I think our O-line is the real deal. I agree. I mean, like I said, I like them all. I like this move. I think we've improved our offensive line today. And I think if we can upgrade that center, I think we can even be better than what we are. I really think we could even be better. Redskins are like the Brown players. They do not care. I don't know if they don't care, but they just been through a lot. They've been through a lot. I mean, when your quarterback doesn't want to play for you, why are you going to want to play for the team that your franchise quarterback doesn't even want to play for? Redskins are a disaster. You know, just going to say that. Sean Ray is a great young... Yeah, I like him a lot. He was one of the guys I wanted. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. Stop being delusional. Cowboy fans are the biggest delusional people I know. No doubt about it. You know what? They think that guys that they don't even know the name are the best players ever played. Do you think Barkley will slide to the Eagles next year? No, I don't. I think Barkley's gone. I think Barkley's going to be awesome. And I think he's going to be like a top early pick, and we're not going to have a chance in hell to get him. But that's my dream. We get a conditional draft pick in 2019. Yeah, we did. You know, I don't know why they reported he got cut. I don't know what that was about. And then there was a statement. I don't know if the Eagles were about to cut him, and Denver called and said, hey, send him here our way, because they didn't want to go through waivers or whatever. I have a feeling that's what happened. Hopefully they trade up for him. Yeah, I think he's going to be so good that I think he's a top 5 pick. Do you think the Eagles will win the NFC East? I have in my prediction, I have the Giants first, the Eagles second. But I'm going to look through the preseason. I want to see the whole preseason before I give you a definite. But right now, I have the Giants in first, the Eagles in second, the Dallas Cowboys at 7-9, and the Redskins, the basement dwellers. Prediction, Christopher Pohl. Prediction, 10-6. 10-6 would be very cool. I have them 9-7, so we're only one game difference, me and you. 10-6, 9-7, 8-8. I mean, that's all, you know. How would you react if the Eagles win a Super Bowl this year? Pretty crazy. I mean, that's something I never dealt with, but it would be insane. It would be totally nuts. It would be, I don't even know. I might cry on camera. I really don't know. I don't know what I do. We win in the East, man. I hope you're right, Philly boy from Texas. We have a chance. I can say we have a chance. I want to see preseason before I say this is definitely what I think is going to happen. I don't like Hackenberg. I don't like Hackenberg at all. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Jets. The Jets, when are they going to go get a quarterback? The Jets should try to get Cousins. The Jets stink. The Jets stink. Eagles sweeping the division. I think the Eagles sweep the Giants. I think the Eagles split with Dallas, and they split with the Redskins. The only reason I think they split with the Redskins is because they get lucky. So I'll do about 5 more minutes, and then I gotta go. Jets 0-15-1. Who's they tying? If you could trade Michael Kendricks for a cornerback too, would you take? Who would you take? Not Revis. I don't know. I mean, like, you mean cornerback number 2, like any in the whole league? Or a guy's available. I mean, what's the deal with Joe Hayden? I kind of like Joe Hayden, but I don't know how healthy he is. Who had better offseason, Dallas or the Giants? The Giants. I think the Giants had a better offseason. I liked what the Giants did. You know, who's better, Sean Lee or Jordan Hicks? I think Jordan Hicks. I know that the Cowboys fan ain't gonna like that. I know Sean Lee is a good player, but I think Jordan Hicks is on the move. I think he's on the move to be defensive player of the year potential. I like him that much. I put him up there with Kuechly. I think he's that good. I really do. And I think he's going to show you this year. We need to sign Fuller or Hayden. We can't go into the season with current corners. I think something's coming. I'm telling you right now, this whole Barbre thing today, to me, tells me something's coming. I don't know what's coming, but something's definitely coming, you know? I mean, why would they just trade him today like that? I don't know what happened. I think that they tried to cut Barbre, but he would have gone through waivers, right? So I think Denver called and said, don't cut him, we'll trade you for him. And that's why there was confusion. I'm betting you that is happening. And why did they want to cut him? Because he saves them $2.1 million. Why do you want $2.1 million so bad right now? Because something's coming. Something's up. That's what I think. I think something's up. What? I don't know. What about Marcus Smith? We cut him or trade? We cut him. Who would want him? McDonald's don't even want him. He stinks. And why would he even be on this team? I mean, many people made videos about cutting him months ago, but they kept him. Why? It didn't make any sense to me. Cut them all! I'm confident we'll extend Jordan Matthews soon. He's building block and a great character. Holly, I love Jordan Matthews. I like him, but I don't see how they're going to sign him when they got to sign Alshon. They got 19 guys they got to sign besides him. I think Matthews is done after this year. I think he plays out the season and he goes. And if he doesn't go, then I don't think Alshon's back. I think it's going to be either Alshon or Matthews. And I like Jordan Matthews. I do. I like him as a slot guy. Sometimes he has hands of cement, but I like him. We didn't trade Ryan Matthews and stuff. Why didn't we trade Ryan Matthews and stuff? He's not even healthy enough to cut. He's not even healthy enough to cut. Nobody wants him. I'll take Alshon. I would take Alshon too. Give me a healthy Alshon and you got a good receiver. Alshon's biggest question mark to me is his health. If he's healthy, he's going to be good. There's no question. Think Torrey Smith? You know what? I do. One of my predictions for this all season in training camp is that I believe people are going to be shocked when Torrey Smith gets cut. I do. I kind of got a feeling that's going to happen. I'm not a big believer in Torrey Smith. I like the guy, great person. But I didn't think he was good in San Francisco, but I also didn't think he was good as last year at Baltimore. I think he's declining. And I think you're going to see in preseason younger guys step up and beat him out. I really do. And I like him. It's not anything personal. Why does Nolan Carroll stink so bad? Well, because he can't cover. He can't cover a wet paper bag. Second, he's now a Dallas Cowboy, and he drinks a lot. And he drinks a lot and gets pulled over and arrested. As soon as the guy gets arrested, as soon as he signs with Dallas. As soon as he signs with Dallas. Do you know what that means? As soon as he put on that satanic star, started drinking children's blood and women's blood and doing all those satanic rituals, he got arrested. That's because he's a dingbat. You're a dingbat when you play for Dallas automatically. The Cowboys roster is filled with dingbats. Yeah, always. It's always filled because it's a satanic star. Vic Beasley for now. Shane Ray is really good. Vic Beasley's good. Dude, that guy's good. What player would you take from Big Blue to add to the Eagles? If I could choose one Giant, I'll probably... I like Odell Beckham. I'd probably take Odell Beckham. I mean, that's off the top of my head. I like Collins, but I think Beckham with Alshon, that would be nasty. How do you feel about only getting some conditional seventh for Barbre? I think it's great because they were going to get nothing for him, and we got to see what happened. Like I'm telling you, I think they cut him. They were going to cut him, put him through waivers or whatever. And then Denver called and said, "Don't cut him. We'll take him," because they don't want to put a waiver claim in or whatever. However, that process is. So you got something for him. You're going to cut him. Tristan, I got it. All right, buddy. I'll see you later. So I think it's definitely a good thing. You look, if somebody gives you $1 and you didn't ask for the dollar, then why is that a bad thing? It's a good thing to get something for them. You never know what that could turn into in the future. That's what I think. Derek Barnett has a 75 man rating. That's pretty good. That's very good. I don't know. Something flashed on my phone. Something about Eagles something. If anybody could check and see if something happened. Because I'm telling you, I expect something to drop. I expect another shoe to drop. I think something's coming. I definitely do. We are going to trade Jordan. Yo, Philly 500. All day Jay. We're going to trade Jordan Matthews for a corner. Well, what corner? No, you guys really think Matthews is getting traded? I don't think Jordan Matthews is getting traded. And if they traded Jordan Matthews for like Kyle Fuller, I would be mad. I would be pissed off because that would be robbery. We would get ripped off. And you can't get ripped off from the Chicago Bears. You can't allow the Chicago Bears to rip you off when they got ripped off by the San Francisco 49ers. Did you see the way they got ripped off by the Niners? Don't ever let Chicago rip you off. That's the worst thing. You know, first rounder for a third rounder. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Who do you think will break out in the Eagles training camp? Who do I think? Well, I got a feeling about Mac Hollins. I think he's going to be really good. I think Pumphrey is going to be pretty good. And I'm thinking Rasul Douglas. You know. Yeah, you think Trubisky is going to be the greatest quarterback of all time? They moved up one spot, and the Niners had no intentions of drafting him. They moved up one spot. Did you see what they gave? Nothing happened. I don't know. Something popped up on my phone. Beckham, Alshon, and Julio Jones. Who would be? That would be great. I love Julio Jones. Julio Jones is awesome. You know? Yeah, I don't know. Something came up on my thing. It could have just been some sort of story going into training camp. I get all the updates, all the, instant notifications. Niners weren't even going to take him. I know. They weren't even going to take him. And everybody in the league knew it but the Chicago Bears. That's pretty bad. Casualties finally made it to another live stream. And all I have to say is the Cowboys should be stripped of American team. They've been stripped of American team. They never were Americans team. Did they think they're America's team? How could they be America's team? We're America's team because we're the birthplace of America. They released the ratings. Can you Google them? I have to look at them. I haven't seen them. But you're saying Madden ratings. You're saying Derek Barnett has a 75? I think that's probably fair. Who do you want to lose week 1? Giants or Cowboys? Cowboys. Because I don't fear the Giants, you see. The Giants can't beat us. The Giants, we're in the Giants' head big time. If the Giants, and when the Giants beat Dallas, everybody in Dallas will panic. They'll panic. Then the Giants will lose to the Eagles, and you know this will happen. And when they lose to the Eagles, it's our division. So yes, let the Giants beat Dallas. All hell breaks loose in Dallas. All hell may break loose in Dallas anyways. Let's face it. It's already chaos. Then the Giants will lose to the Eagles twice, and we win the division. How do you rank our defensive line? I think a lot of people are rating our defensive line a little too high right now. I think that they could be top 10 right now. I don't think they're top 3. Here's the thing with the defensive line. I need to see what they can do. Who's going to get you 10 sacks on that defensive line? Brandon Graham has never had more than 6.5. Derek Barnett is a rookie. Vinny Curry wasn't good last year. So I want to see who steps up at that end. I love the interior. The interior is beast. But if Brandon Graham can go out there and get you double-digit sacks, like if Brandon Graham can get you 10 sacks, top 5 defensive line, maybe even higher. But I don't see how anybody could rate them above a top 4 or 5 or below top 4 or 5. If you're saying they're top 3 defensive line in football, well, who's your pass rushers? Who's going to get you sacks? Wasn't Vinny a little hurt? That's what he says. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm banking. And I'm not saying this to try. I'm not trying to trash Brandon Graham or Vinny Curry. I'm just saying somebody's got to get you sacks on that end that haven't done it before. And that's just the truth. There's somebody that has to have a great year. And if that happens, look, if Derek Barnett has the rookie of the year and he gets 10 sacks, you're a great line. If Brandon Graham gets you, 10 sacks, great. Then you got a top 5 line easy. But somebody has to step up. Do you think Jerry Jones is overrated? I think Jerry Jones. Look, if Jerry Jones was the owner of Eagles, I would not be upset. I think he's a good owner. I think for the most part he has his players back. I mean, truthfully. But he's a Dallas Cowboy. He looks like the Emperor from Star Wars. When he put the thing on, who's it? Emperor Palpatine? When he puts the thing on, that's Jerry Jones. 5 sacks apiece. What do you mean? Why always Cowboys get away with the punishment? Sorry, my bad. Cowboys have a lot of power. Jerry Jones has a lot of say. I think Jerry Jones owns the NFL Network. And they sway. They get a lot of sway. And they're very, I think they're the most valued franchise in sports. The Eagles own the Giants for the past. Yeah, the Eagles have owned the Giants for a long, long, long time. Long time. Last few years. Now, at some point, it has to turn around because it always does. Can Barnett win Rookie Defensive Player of the Year? I mean, it's possible, but I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't even know if Barnett's going to start. You know? Imagine Brian Dawkins next to Jenkins. Yeah, that would be awesome. You know? I love Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins. Now, I'm going to tell you, out of full disclosure, I was not happy when they got Malcolm Jenkins. I wasn't upset, but there was other guys I wanted. But he's been blessing. He's been awesome. I love Malcolm Jenkins. I'm great value. What a great value guy. What a great player. There's nothing that I can say bad about Malcolm Jenkins. I love Malcolm Jenkins. I love him. And I just hope that he could get some help with those corners. Giants-Eagles, best rivalry in the NFL. Yeah, I think it's the #1 rivalry. I do. Because their games always end the most bizarre ways. The most bizarre ways. Thoughts on Joe Walker? I love Joe Walker. I can't wait to see how he's, how he does, top three dingbats. I had to think about it, but I put myself at the top of the list. I'm the biggest dingbat that ever lived. No question. I'm a dingbat. It's Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins. Yeah, but the more you Giant fans keep talking about how great the Giants are, the more and more I'm realizing I'm going to pick the Eagles to win the division when I redo it, because it drives you nuts. Jim Schwartz basically called Timmy Jernigan a first-round pick. I think Timmy Jernigan is a great pickup. I think he's an upgrade. I like him, but he's another guy last year's contract. Are you going to be able to sign him? How are you going to sign Jernigan and Fletcher Cox? Who would you compare Wentz to? Wentz reminds me, from what I've seen of Wentz, he reminds me of a combination of two guys. Big Ben and Andrew Luck. I just see him as like a mix of the two. That's what he reminds me of, Some people compare Wentz to Favre. Well, because you know what it is? Wentz is a natural gunslinger. He's a natural gunslinger. So I get that point. I can see that a little bit. Look, I never think Wentz is going to be the kind of guy that throws 7 interceptions all year. Wentz is always going to have a higher interception count. I think he always will. I think it'll always be around 12 to 15 interceptions because he's a gunslinger. The question is does the coach take him and say, this is what my guy is, let's use his abilities, or does he try to mold him into Alex Smith? Alex stinking Smith! Why on earth would you say that your quarterback, the 2nd overall pick, is Alex Smith? I hate Alex Smith, and it pisses me off that he would compare him. It's an insult to your intelligence and to mine. I hate Alex Smith. We have Cox through 2022. Yeah, we do, but I don't know how they're going to pay Cox like $20 million a year or what. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're going to have to redo Cox's contract at some point. And Cox has to have a better year. But you're going to have Jernigan. He's going to be sitting there. He's going to be a free agent. You're going to have to sign him or Cox. I mean, then how are you going to sign Jernigan, Alshon, Jordan Matthews? There's a lot of guys that you have to sign next year. So you got to make sure you have a good year. If you're an Eagle, you have to have a good year. That's the only way. Manziel or Kessler? Kessler, Manziel. I mean, Manziel was the local bar or something, right? JPP has one handle, maybe 8. JPP's a stud. Okay, JPP to me, I think he's better than our defensive ends. JPP's good. I wanted JPP was my second guy I wanted. I don't care if he has 3 fingers or whatever. He's good. I think the Giants' defensive ends are better than the Eagles. I think the Eagles' interior is better than the Giants. JP had, I think, 7 sacks in 12 games with his hand. JPP is good. JPP is a stud. I'm sorry. He is. Brandon Graham's better now, but backflips. Well, I don't see it. I think Brandon Graham had a good year. His best year, and I want to give him the credit he deserves. But he's never had double-digit sacks. Not just last year. All the other years. JPP is still better than Brandon Graham at this point. If Brandon Graham goes out there and has 10 sacks, I'm going to do an apology video for all the stuff I said about Brandon Graham, 5.5. I'm going to do one because he'll win me over with double-digit sacks. But he's got to have it. At some point in your career, you have to have double-digit sacks. That's what I think, you know? I mean, it's just the way it is. As JPP gets older, he can't really only on athletic ability, especially. Well, how old is JPP? He came out the same year as Brandon Graham. Don't care about the Giants whatsoever. The Cowboys game is the only division team I care about playing each year. Giants. The Giants, I always care about playing the Giants. I always care about playing the Cowboys. But look, the Giants, Eagle fans know they own the Giants right now. We own you, and we know if it's close or if you're even up with like 30 seconds left and you're trying to down the ball or you're trying to punt and not kick the Deshaun Jackson. We know whatever weird is going to happen, we're going to win. The thing with the Eagle fans is every time they play the Giants, you don't leave. You know with 1 second left, something's going to happen. Brandon Graham is elite. Elite. So give me the top, you know, who's better than Brandon Graham? Since he's elite, tell me what guys are better. I don't think Brandon Graham's elite. I think Brandon Graham is very good. Brandon Graham may be on the upswing. Brandon Graham may be arcing up. That's what I'm hoping. I think he had a good year last year, his best year, obviously. Hopefully he's arcing up and he has 10 sacks this year and he's a Pro Bowler. That's what I'm hoping. But right now, you know, Khalil Mack, yeah, definitely. Beasley, JPP. I mean, there's quite a few guys I think that are better. But what I'm saying about Brandon Graham is I'm saying that he may be arcing up. He may be headed in the right direction. And he played good last year, and this may be the year he explodes. That's what I'm hoping. That's what we have to hope. You know? Everson Griffin is better and has the second most sacks by any defensive. Everson Griffin is I like him. And I'll tell you what. I also like Barre. I love Barre. Graham isn't even on JPP's level. When did Graham have... Graham has never had more than 6.5 sacks in a year. He's never had more than 6.5. Who cares? 14-4 against the Giants. Spunky don't give a crap about the Giants. See, Spunky's my man. He knows the Eagles own the Giants. Why worry about it? Do you worry about the bug walking in the street? You step on it. You don't worry about it. And that's how he looks at the Giants. They're just bugs to us. We own the Giants. What's the best rivalry in the NFC East? Well, I mean, historically, you would say either the Cowboys and the Redskins or the Eagles and the Giants. To me, it's the Eagles and the Giants because the Eagles and the Giants end in the most crazy ways. I think that's the best rivalry in all of football. The Eagles and the Giants. I think it's up there. I just do. I love that rivalry. I think it's the best rivalry. It's the most intriguing. You might own us now, but we're the ones with the rings. Yeah. You rings. Well, you know, the one thing is you may have rings, but we don't know what it's like to have rings, so we don't know what the hell we're missing. You know? D-Jack's punt return flat. My gosh, do you remember that? I think I scared my in-laws. They were there, we were watching the game, and I literally jumped from one side of the house to the other. I was flipping out. I think I scared them because they never seen me act like that. It was hilarious. It was the most amazing thing ever. And with those kind of things, you always know that the Eagles are going to beat the Giants. Some way, somehow, the Eagles are going to beat the Giants. It's just going to happen. It has to happen. You know? Rings is all that matters, babe. Go Big Blue. It's like, see, Giants always use that as the argument why the Eagle fans shouldn't debate them. You may have the rings. You may have them. But our time is coming. See, when we get a couple rings, even if we get one ring, you can't say that we have no rings anymore. You're going to then say, we have 4 rings and you have 1. I'm going to say, I don't care. We have 1 and we still beat your butt every year. We beat your butt every year. You may have the rings, but this is present. This is in history. New York sports better than Philly sports. Nah. Do you think Corey Clement makes team practice squad? I think he does make the practice squad. I think he's going to make the practice squad. And I heard he came in light, too. I like Corey Clement. I think he may surprise us, but I just don't know if he'll make the team with having Blunt. But I'm rooting for him. I hope he makes the practice squad at least. But I heard he looked good. Do you lose sleep over any team, Spunky? I didn't think it's normal to step. I don't lose sleep over games. That Tampa Bay NFC Championship game bothers me to this day. I still can't get over that. That to me has been harder than even the Super Bowl we lost. That Tampa Bay game did something to me inside my soul. You know what I mean? Would you rather have Ben McAdoo or Doug Peterson? Ben McAdoo. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Doug Peterson right now. I've come to the ability and I've come to the conclusion, and I've worked myself all off season to give Doug Peterson a clean slate, a fair chance, to not judge and try to judge him on last year. I've worked really hard to get to that point. That's kind of where I'm at now. You know, we have been destroying the Giants. Yeah, we do. We own the Giants. Would you rather have Wentz or Bradford? Wentz. I hated Bradford. Sam Stinkford, Deacon Dunk. No, he's like Alex Smith without the legs. That's all Sam Bradford is. I'm sorry, I'm not a Bradford fan. I think he's an average quarterback. You know? I only think the Giants and Eagles will split because Eli plays terrible in Philly compared. Well, and because you know that the Eagles beat the Giants all the time. And you're scared that we have your number. Just like you're probably pretty confident that the Giants are going to beat Dallas twice. So that Dallas will say, well, they're going to split with the Giants. So Giant fans say, we'll split with the Eagles because you already know that's what you're rooting for. You're just hoping for a split. We're hoping for a sweep. That tells you who has the advantage. Viking won't trade Rhodes. I doubt it. Do you think we should have kept Barber and released Kelsey and just put someone else at center? I think we should put someone else at center. Personally, when they traded Barber, right? They didn't cut him. But I would have thought they would have kept Barber because of his ability to play other positions. I don't think you should cut Kelsey. I don't think, you should just cut him. I think you should try maybe trade him if the opportunity presents itself. But at this point, I don't just cut him. Giants still need a decent run game to be some sort of threat. Yeah, they do. Vikings GM said today they were working on more extensions than Kinnear Rhodes probably. Yeah. Vikings are interesting because I just don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback. I feel bad for Bridgewater. I really like Bridgewater coming out of college. Now, I wanted my guy. I wish I made videos back then because I was screaming to get Carr. But I like Bridgewater a lot, and I feel bad for him. I hope he comes back. That's the problem. You'll never gain one ring. Why? Why not? Why not? We only got the rest of the existence of Earth and football to try. It could change around. In another 100 years, the Eagles could have 6 rings. The Giants could still have what you have now. What, 4? It could happen. Doug, just like Wentz. Well, I'm trying, Holly. I'm trying to have patience with Doug. I've worked myself to the point where I'm willing to give him a clean slate, and that's it. Congrats on 1,000 subs. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate that. It's all because of you guys. It's nothing to do with me. Philly, I do fantasy football big time. If we get Fuller, who would you bench to replace? Who would you bench to? If we got Fuller, if the Eagles went out and got Fuller, he's gonna have to earn a starting job. He ain't just. I'm not handing him the starting job. I don't hand out starting jobs. You earn it. So he would have to beat out Mills or Douglas. But I think, if he did, then whoever he beats out. But he ain't. I'm not handing him a job. I'm not handing anybody any job. That was a mistake. To just say Salamalu was the starter is a mistake to me because you want to get the most out of the guys by competing. Competing and battling in camp and the competition, it brings out the best. It brings out the best. Xavier Rhodes, is he even on the market? Thoughts on Dalvin Cook? I like Dalvin Cook a lot. To be honest with you, if the Eagles would have took him at 1 with their first pick, I wouldn't have been upset. I like Dalvin Cook. I had him rated as my number 3 running back in the end, in my final analysis. I had Fournette, and I like Mixon a lot, and then Cook. But when I started, he was my number 2. O.J. Howard or Ertz? I'm going to say O.J. Howard. I'm a big O.J. Howard fan, but I'm hopeful Ertz can bounce back. Broncos fan here. Barber is versatile. Hey, Bronco fan Mickey, it's nice to have you. Thanks for coming by. I think Barbre is a good pickup for you guys. He's versatile. He can play tackle. He can play guard. I think he's a good pickup for what you guys gave up. Great move on your guys' part. You should be happy with that. For us, I think we bring in a young guy in the interior in that guard position, and I think it's a win-win for both. Do you want to kiss Doug Peterson? Hell no. Hell no. I want to shave his head. Would you rather eat the Skins week 1 or beat the Chiefs week 2? I'd rather beat the Skins week 1. I'll always want to beat a division rivalry or a conference game. The out-of-conference games, you know, Giants might have the worst tackle duo in the league. Giants stink. Giants are giantly stink. You got the Cowboys who are worshiping Satan, doing all sorts of satanic rituals and drinking bloods of babies and women, and there's Satan. There's Satan incarnate. And then you have Jerry Jones, the Evil Empire. Then you got the Skins who are like, you ever watch the Planet of the Apes? Like the old Planet of the Apes? Like the second one where he goes, Charlton Heston, I guess, or whatever, whoever's in it. They go underground and there's these people underground and they're hiding from the apes. That's what I think the Redskins are. They're hiding from the rest of the NFC East underground in some caves. And they have a bomb and they're going to blow the whole thing up. How long will till Marshall and Beckham Giants locker room implodes? I don't know. Marshall may bring stability to Beckham. He may blow it up himself. I just don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know. You know, I think the Giants always have the opportunity to implode with Odell Beckham. I don't know what to make of him. I don't think the Giants have a good offensive line. I'm not really big on the running backs. I did like Perkins coming out, but we'll have to see. Randy Gregory or Pierre-Paul. It depends. Are we smoking? Are we sniffing? Or are we blowing things up? Who do you think win, the Eagles or Dolphins? Who do you think will win, Eagles or Dolphins? I think the Eagles. Or Beckham could be. I'm jealous of not having Beckham. Look, I wanted Beckham. Beckham was one of the guys I wanted coming out of college. You know, who else was in that draft? Wasn't it Mike Evans was another? Beckham. There was a lot of good receivers. Beckham is a beast, in my opinion. If Odell just ignores people on the field, I believe he'll be fine. Yeah, you know, and then don't do stupid things like run out to then you go to Miami the week of the playoff game, stuff like that. Who should call the Browns about? Yeah, I would totally call the Browns about Hayden, but I'm not giving up a lot at this point. We're so far, you know, before the season starts. We're so far in it that I'm not going to give anything. I'm not giving anything more than a 4th round pick. I might give one of my 4ths because I have 3. Hayden's getting burned lately. Yeah, I mean, you wonder if Hayden would have a good change of scenery would help him. Sometimes that goes a long way. Why will the Giants go 0-16? So if the Giants went 0-16, they would go 0-16 because of their offensive line. Do you think Mills can emerge as a solid cornerback this year? I don't know. A lot of people like him. I like his attitude. I like that he can let things go, but I'm not sure if he's a solid corner. I think the verdict is still out. I think he would be a great safety though, but I'm not sure if he could be a good corner. I just don't. I want to see what he did. Hayden plays for the Browns though. Yeah, anybody that plays for the Browns would be reinvigorated to get the hell out of there. Sidney Jones development. Sidney Jones is going to be a star. I think Sidney Jones will be an elite cornerback in this league. I really do. But if they bring him back too early, I think it's going to stunt his development. I don't know what his mental makeup is. What happens if he comes in, he gets rushed back on the field, he's worried about his Achilles, he's trying to adjust to a faster game, and he gets blown a couple times? Then what? Then what happens? Then he loses his confidence and he never lives up to the guy he should be? I don't know. I just wouldn't rush him. I don't see any reason to rush him. And I guess part of the reason why I was interested in maybe going after Fuller at first was because I assumed if you could get like a Fuller or a Hayden, then maybe you don't bring out You know, maybe you don't bring in or you don't rush out Sidney Jones because you have another guy to replace him. That was another reason why I would go after Fuller or Hayden. I'm cheering for kids, Banner. Nah, it's us. Banner, I know what you're talking about, Banner. But if you're calling me that, thank you. Who is the best Eagle of all time in your opinion? Best of all time in my opinion, I'll only tell you who I see. My favorite Eagle of all time was Reggie White. Reggie White was my favorite guy. My second was Brian Dawkins, and my third was Randall Cunningham. I don't, you know, I know there's Chuck Bednarik and all those guys. I don't like talking about guys I've never seen because I've never seen them. You know? Taylor, Giant fans can't understand why I think Reggie White was a better pass rusher. He was the best pass rusher. Look at the stats. The stats show. You want to say that Taylor was a better defensive player? Well, they played two different positions. But I'm talking about pass rusher. Reggie White. Yeah, you won't let it go. It's shocking to you. Lawrence Taylor. I remember Lawrence Taylor. The Giant fans used to call up the fan, right? WFAN, and they wanted to trade him. They wanted to trade Lawrence Taylor. Okay? Banner, I don't think so. I thought maybe you think it. I don't know. I missed the conversation. No Super Bowl this year, playoffs maybe. No Super Bowl this year, playoffs maybe. Yeah, I mean, look, it's probably going to be really hard to make the Super Bowl, but, I mean, stranger things have happened. And look, if you get to the playoffs, that they say, you get to the playoffs, you have a chance. Now, a lot of times I hate that saying. I really hate it. But when you have a franchise quarterback, it's fine then. Banner, like, it's easier for a D-line to have a better pass rushing stat than a linebacker. Linebackers don't pass rush on every... Okay, but when we're talking about Reggie White, we're talking about a pass rusher. So I can only judge him on being a pass rusher. Reggie White was the greatest pass rusher, in my opinion, of all time. Well, that's just the way I see it. And he didn't have to play as long as Bruce Smith and play with the Redskins. Sidney Jones had the same injury as senior in high school. He did, really? Was it the same foot? Look, there's no reason to rush Sidney Jones. All of us want him to come back and be healthy and play. But we want him on the field because we think we can go on a run. If he comes back, we think he's going to come in and be this stud corner and shut people down. And all of a sudden, our secondary is going to play good. It doesn't work that way. He's a rookie. He's got to learn to play. He's going to learn the speed of the game. It's going to be a hard uphill battle for him to come in the middle of the year and be that effective. So why not let him get healthy, let him study, let him learn the mental part of the game, and then play next year? I don't see the problem with it. Jalen Mills isn't good. PFF ranking him the worst corner. He thinks he's... I don't pay attention to those PFF whatchamacallits. Who you got, McGregor or Mayweather? I got Mayweather. It's not even fair, really. Somebody said my stream is frozen. Is it still frozen? Yes or no? Kelly Green Wings have fun missing the playoffs. Nah, we ain't gonna miss the playoffs. Well, we might, but we might make it. Kelly Green's Eagles. You guys are funny. Kelly Green is the best color. You can't say Kelly Green sucks, and I know that's the person's name. The person with that kind of name, they're the best. That's how I... Is my stream frozen still? Definitely root for McGregor. Yeah, I'm rooting for McGregor, but I mean, I don't know if I'm... I mean, look, Mayweather's a boxer. It's all set up for him. He's going to win. Going back into a stop freezing. Close out the video and go back. Is it still freezing? Well, listen, I'll tell you what. We'll call this a day. We'll call this a day for right now. I got some things to do anyways if it's freezing. And I'll talk to you guys later. Sorry it's freezing. And we'll talk later. I'll head out, let you guys go. I know you got good things to do. I enjoyed this. We'll talk later. Definitely, if something breaks, I'll be back. Take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.